Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I think we're all good, are we? We're ready to start. Type in if you can hear me. All right, I thought being Sunday, I would actually come from being outside today. So I hope that's not too glary. But what we're going to do here today, okay? We're going to actually do 5 things, all right? Um, First thing we're going to talk about our Become a Better Man 5 Day Challenge. So, and what that looks like, who's it for, who it entails. So we're going to talk about that. But what we're going to do, the second thing we're going to get you to do is do some things, okay? So while we're on here, we're actually as men, and I mean there's going to be women watching as well. Hey, give a round of applause to all the women. Goodness me. Hey, I see there's one of my biggest fans there, Michelle Top. Can we all say hello to Michelle? The best thing that ever happened to me. So the first thing we're going to talk about the Become a Better Man 5 Day Challenge. All right, that starts tomorrow, by the way. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to do some things. The masculine journey is about action. The third thing we're going to do is have some giveaways. All right, we're going to have some giveaways in regards to the general admission and a VIP section in the Become a Better Man challenge. So you got to do, and if you're not doing nothing, you're not going to get nothing. All right, there's laws and principles to this world, and that's one of them. So and of course I've only got one here, would you believe, an actual Man Alive hard copy ebook. It's 21 days. So it's going to be a signed copy, right? We're going to work that. We're going to give that away on the challenge here. All right. On the challenge, on this recorded call, on this call that's happening now live. When the live is over, it is over. It's not. So you got to do the work, all right, on this call. So women can do this work as well, all right. Obviously, it's for men, and don't get offended if it's I'm talking to the men a lot. I've got 5 daughters. I know I love women more than anything. Okay, but we do run men's programs. So the fourth thing we're going to do is I'm going to tell some stories. Who loves a good story? You know, Mark, good to see you, mate. You love a good story. So men and women, you know, everything for the last couple of thousand years has always been translated and taught, and even, you know, you catch things through stories. So we're going to tell some stories. Who loves a good story? Come on, give us a yeah, Gav. You're talking to me. And as I said, it's going to be about action. We're going to take some action today. So 5 things. So the biggest thing is, everything's so big. Everything I love to do is big. All right, but we're gonna help some men today. That's the point of this, okay? We're going to help them get enrolled for the Become a Better Man challenge starting tomorrow, and also we're going to help some other men that maybe aren't even on the call. You know, and you know, my understanding, this is how I believe, if every man helps one man, we can change the world in about 3 weeks. You know, everyone got that, we would actually change the world. But, you know, for a lot of people, well, when I say a lot of people, a lot of maybe friends, etc., even men that have done my programs over the years. I just messaged a guy before, he reached out to me, who'd done a program back in about 2014. Like, we've been doing this for a long time, since 2009. So you know, there's a ripple effect to what every man does, good or bad. You know, good or not so good. But as I was saying just a second ago, a lot of people have reached out and said, Gav, why have you gone overseas? Why have you moved your family, etc.? Is everything okay? Is there anything? Everything's fantastic. We're in the middle of the Mediterranean, okay? It's all good. 26 miles from Sicily, and I think it's about, I don't know, how many, it's about over 80 kilometers or something from Africa. We're doing okay. We're doing okay, all right. So, but why did we come to the Mediterranean? And you know, I'm going to tell a few different stories, and I reckon this may go for maybe an hour. Okay, if my phone remains charged, how's that? So yeah, so I'm going to give you an opportunity to get some people involved. So if you know someone who loves a good story, tag him in the chat. Say, hey, listen, this guy, he's a good storyteller. Say, you're never going to get what this, guess what this bloke's going to talk about. Or maybe say, this guy's, whatever. Tag some men in this. Tag some people in this. So, why are we Malta? Why are the tops in Malta? Whereas, you know, my wife, and in short, you know, I'll endeavour to keep this short because it is a story. You know, I've been hearing about this place since I was a teenager. My wife and I have been together since we were kids. Yeah, since we were teenagers, and you know, I can remember her. We've been going out a little while, and she wanted to my wife wanted, before she was my wife, wanted to introduce me to her grandfather, John Ferrugia. He's passed now, but she just wanted to go there. So I remember going there. I think it was maybe like a Saturday on the weekend, going there. I remember he was so proud, such a proud man of his home, his house, you know, his wife, and what he had cooked. Apparently he'd spent so much time cooking me an authentic Maltese dish, and I remember what it was, you know, but it was this rabbit stew, you know, and it's like a Maltese meal, you know, this Maltese stew, and it was, and I think what was the other thing? The other thing was oh, far out. What was that other thing? Michelle's over here. What was that other thing, love? Octopus, goodness me, how could I forget octopus stew as well? Peas in it, it was just lovely. When I come here, first thing I had was that. Okay, uh, so it's, but I constantly all my life have heard Michelle talk her dream. Remember, the reason we come here is because she had a dream to come to Malta and spend a season, spend some time here in the culture, in the place of her origin, you know. And over the years I've heard these stories that she actually, Michelle's family have a couple of properties here, you know, a couple of bits of real estate that's been in their family for, you know, years and years. One I think is about 160 years, and the other property is about 120 years. So it's, you know, wow, over time I thought, wow, wouldn't that, and particularly as my family has grown, and I, you know, over the years I've taught a lot about, and I suppose what is dear to my heart is legacy, you know. So wow, what an amazing legacy, you know. So that's kind of you know, a part of particularly this one house that I heard about when we were back in Australia, because you know, when it comes to somebody in, like, an oath that I have in my family is that, you know, an oath for me is that I want to show my kids that dreams can come true. So when my wife has been absolutely amazing, you know, in regards to many regards, but in far as supporting me, encouraging me, being the best mum in the world, being the best wife in the world. So as a husband, as a man, the man of the house, I want her dreams to come true. That's what I want. That's in my heart, and I think, you know, most men feel like that. Am I right or not? If that's you, give me a yep, Gav. That's me in the comments. You know, I want my wife's dreams to come true, and I mean, something that I've, you know, sort of incorporated over the years with my children is that, you know, an oath of mine that they hear me talk about. My oath is to show my children that dreams come true. So hence we end up, you know, we made it together, but I kind of made it first. That's it, we're going to Malta. Because there's plenty of things in this world that is going to try and talk you out of your dreams, try and talk you out of your dreams coming true. And so hang on, I've just been informed Facebook is not live. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're live on Instagram and YouTube. All right, that's all right. That's good. And we're live on it on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
What does
Yeah.
that say? Okay, can we get rid of that? All right, we're always in learning about this technology. So great, all the Instagrammers. Thank you for joining. That's awesome. So good. So the thing is, okay, with so with this dream of my wife, so what I really wanted to do was her dreams to come true, to show my daughters, to show my sons, to show her, you know. So hence, while we're coming to Malta, is because I heard about this house that had been in the family for 160 years, but was actually like 430 years old. So it's like, whoa, man, you know, coming from Australia, it's like, man, if something's 20 years old, it's been renovated. You know, they don't make, I mean, you can see the rocks behind me, man, everything's made here to last. Like, you know, over this shoulder on this side is actually a fortified city. It's 3.5. I can see it from a deck here. It's 3,500 years old. You know, like things are made to last. I wanted my kids to see something like that, to taste, to touch. You know, but one of the biggest things in coming to their house, because my wife come over here for a couple of weeks, a couple of years ago. You know, come for just, I think it was, just a couple of weeks or something. But she told me about when she walked in the house. She told me about there's a well in the middle of the house. I thought, man, I want to drink from that well. I want my kids to drink from that well, because you know, I mean, when her father was born in that house, her grandmother over 90 years ago was born in that house. Like, man, talk about legacy. You know, I was getting back and I'm talking about legacy. That is next level legacy as far as I'm concerned. So by coming here to Malta, I'm getting to sort of why I came into Malta was to come and see that house, experience that house. That's what I wanted. That's exactly what I wanted. I wanted to drink that water that her father was drinking since he was a baby. You know, he's over 70 now. You know, hadn't been here for 70 years, by the way. Left when he was 3. So that's why we come to Malta, and of course by coming here to Malta, and then we checked out this island on Gozo. Not very long, man. From the edge of my deck, I can see one side, and I can see the other side. I can see water both sides. So, you know, but there's about 15 villages here. So, you know, one of the great experiences that I had here was when I was here a little while, and I went down the street about lunchtime or something, and all of a sudden I seen, and it was winter time. You know, it was, you know, there was no tourists there, etc. All of a sudden, all the shops are shut, and I see one of the shops had a sign on saying back at 4 o'clock. It's like, back at 4, you know, not here from 12 till 4. It's like everyone, or you know, some of the shops obviously were open, but a lot of the shops were closed, were shut, like having a siesta. I thought, how good is this? This is amazing. This is what I wanted my kids to experience, living in a village where my son can walk to school that way, where my daughter can walk to 900 meters that way to school. You know, to just slow down and think about what's important. That was why I come here, you know, and we didn't know how long we were coming for, and you know, bought a one-way ticket. So we've been here I think about 19, 20 months at the moment. So it's been an epic experience, to say the least. You know, it's, you know, I was saying, and I still am saying, you know, life, it's an epic adventure or it's not, you know. So, you know, as I'm saying that, and if you want, remember, we're going to talk about this Become a Better Man challenge. If you want to live a life of adventure, type in the chat, Gav, that is me. That is me. I want to live a life of adventure, you know, because the thing is, it's on offer for everyone. That's the God's honest truth. It's on offer for everyone. So if you've got a dream in you and you want to live it, man, this is for you. This is for you. So I'm just wondering. I'm just gonna little break. Are we getting many? I should put my glasses on. Are we getting many comments? So we're not getting comments. So you've got to be commenting to actually get a signed copy book. All right, you've got to be commenting. Remember, this is about action. I spoke about this third thing we're going to do is take action. So no action, no results. Let me actually talk about, for a lot of people, and I'm going to be straight here, okay? I've heard and I've seen a lot of people saying things like, oh, it's not fair. Well, I'm going to tell you, if you're one of those people that says that, you're right. It's actually not fair. Life, it's not fair. And in fact, it's not meant to be fair. The fairness. In all my reading the Bible, being fair, I've never seen once. I've never heard a preacher talk about, hey, do this and everything will be fair. No, this is about this life that we've got, and this is what I'm seeing particularly with a lot of men, are sitting on the sidelines and living their life like they're spectators. I'm just being real here. They're just spectators to life. They're watching others. It's like they're in the grandstands and they're watching people participate and live their life through screens. That's what's going on in this modern world. So I believe, what we're doing with this Become a Better Man challenge, this is about taking action on your dreams, on the things that are important, on taking courage, living a life from courage that's going to, that inhale will you when you go after your dreams, it's going to need courage, okay? Sit on the sidelines takes no courage. So if you want to be a spectator, and I'm just, somebody maybe might feel like I'm poking you in the chest. Hey, if this is not for you, I wish you well, I really do. But if you want to take action and live a life of courage and go after your dreams, hey, I want to show me something. I see Mark commenting, come on, buddy, let's go. Yeah, life is a roller coaster. You're 100% right. But, what they say, man, death and taxes, you don't get out of this life alive. So you got to take action, gentlemen. So, and ladies, and ladies. So here's what we're going to do. And one of the things that, as men go through this Become a Better Man challenge, okay, this 5-day challenge starting tomorrow, what's going to happen? It's going to ignite something in you, okay, and it's going to ignite fire. Yeah, it's going to. Oh, I see. Who's that? Ant. Good to see you, mate. Yeah, it's going to take courage, and it's going to and it's going to ignite a fire. This Become a Better Man challenge, and this is something that I've been talking about for years. Because when a man gets a dream, in his heart and is prepared to go, I have a thing with our Man Alive experience, okay? And I might even put some of it actually in our 5-day challenge tomorrow. But I actually have a dream test, which if you do this dream test, you're kind of ready for a mission test. And if you can align and really get a crystal clear focus for your mission, because that's what I'm going to ask everyone, okay, that's going to join this challenge today, all right? Remember, this masculine journey is about action. So this challenge is starting tomorrow, because one of the biggest things you're going to get out of it is a dream. As I said, it's going to ignite some fire. And this is my dream. And at every opportunity, and this is what will happen to you, with every opportunity, you're going to get, somebody says, how you going? You're going to tell them exactly how you're going. Somebody says, so what are you up to? You're going to tell them exactly what you are, because there's a dream in your heart. This is my dream, and this is what I want for you, that you would get a dream. So when you're introduced, you say something like, with your name, okay, I'm going to use my name, with your name, you're going to say, my name's Gavin Lance-Top, and I have a dream. My dream is that every male would know there is a masculine journey to be taken, that every man would pass the test of manhood so he would know that he is enough, that every wife would feel the love, the unconditional love of a husband. Every daughter would know what a real man looks like, and every child would feel the love of a father. My dream is that every man would live a life of adventure that would inspire those around him. That every man would have the courage to fight for what is right and what is just. And my dream is that every man would know his purpose is to raise other men up, to inspire other men, to inspire our children, our women, our neighbours, man, everyone who comes in close. So by going through this Become a Better Man 5-day challenge starting tomorrow, you're going to get, not my dream, you're going to get, your dream's going to be ignited. Or if it already has been, it's going to get clearer. See, why most men fall short of what I would say, they end up living at average. That's what most men end up doing. They live at average. And when I say average, what I'm saying is average at what they really could do. Not average compared to me, compared to your neighbour, compared to your customers, not compared to anyone else, but compared to what you could do. So when you can really be clear and articulate your dream, man, you become a man on mission. You know, and when we go through this challenge, is you're gonna you see, one of the things that we're going to talk about is an assignment. Every man longs for an assignment, something that is worth his life. Okay, it's either that or you live at average and you start saying things like it's not fair, because we've talked about that. You're right, it's not fair. So I've talked about why I'm here in Malta, in Gozo particularly, okay, following a dream, on mission, So we talked about, as husbands and fathers, if you're a dad, type in the comments, please. Type in the comments, yeah, I'm a dad, because this one's for you. So, one of the things I like to talk about, particularly in our Man Alive experience, is kingdom. And to be honest, I talked about it for a long time doing our Fight Like a Pro program from 2009 to 2019. But as I'm going along on my masculine journey and growing and kids are getting older, the kingdom is changing. And if you don't change, man, nothing doesn't change, and that's where a lot of men end up in a rut, But one of the things when it comes to kingdom, the men who know me, who've done my programs, etc., I'm always one for the dictionary. Not what I think it says, what does it actually say? What does it actually mean? And when it comes to kingdom, it talks about, it says, a politically organized community, okay? That's the definition, a politically organized community, and it says generally headed up by a king and or a queen. Okay, so your kingdom, every man has should operate as a king to actually look after his kingdom, meaning looking after his people, the people that he's over. So if you're not operating like a king, goodness me, who is? Who is influencing your children? Who is setting the standards? Who is, if your people don't feel safe, that you've got the front door, the back door, and every other base covered, man, there's going to be unease in your kingdom. And I think that's what a lot of men are experiencing these days. And when I say experience, maybe like you've done everything. You've provided the biggest house on the hill. You've provided all the material possessions, but maybe there was some other things that you overlooked, or maybe you just never knew about. With this masculine journey, we start missing out on one or two things. It can snowball very quickly. And hear me right here. We're all on a journey. We're all on a journey. A mentor said to me 20 odd years ago, he goes, Gav, listen, this masculine journey is going to take you about 80 or 90 years to work out. So we are all on I have not nailed it by all means, okay? But I'm so glad I'm not where I was. So if you resonate with that, say, give me a thumbs up. Yeah, that's me, Gav. That's right. So here we go. So what I want to do is also now talk about principles. Hey, if you're getting some value out of this, say, Gav, yeah, I am. I've got stories. I've got some stories and principles, okay? But really, and this is probably a big mistake that I have seen, particularly, I say young people, but really it's all people, and it's like that whole be, do, have, okay? So a lot of us have been conditioned just to get the have, focus on the have. And of course, vision is everything, okay? But what I've also, you've got to be, do, and then you'll get the have, okay? So, and particularly as we're going through this Become a Better Man challenge, there's going to be things that are going to be highlighted in your being, okay? So the sort of man that you are, okay? Because being is really going to represent your identity, meaning how you see yourself. not the person that you actually present to Instagram, to all social media, or to your place of business or your customer. No, the real man, the identity. So who is that guy when no one's watching? Who is that guy when you're not doing a selfie? Who is that guy, the real guy? And thank goodness for social media. I'm able to reach you. Goodness me. The truth is currently we've got men in New Zealand to Alaska that were able to impact, support, and help. So hey, as you're watching the recording to this, whatever time zone you're on, I'd love to hear from where you're listening from. So the B. So one of the things with this challenge, you're going to get a bit of a realization of maybe who you have been, because, who you are. Like, this is what I always like to say. I think it's a simple analogy. So let's just say, for example, as a dad or maybe your health, whatever, you're operating at a 5 out of 10. Okay, 5 out of 10. So what I've learned is in life, you don't get what you want. Maybe you can get it quickly on credit, but really it'll catch up with you after a while. But you don't get what you want, you get what you are. Okay, you get what you are. So for example, right, if I'm operating at a 5 out of 10, I'm going to attract 5 out of 10 opportunities. I'm going to attract 5 out of 10 people in that area. And I'm not saying, every person's a 10 out of 10. Man, you're made perfect without a blemish in God's eyes, okay? But the world doesn't look through God's eyes, all right? Yeah, so you're going to attract what you are. I always think about when I used to drink alcohol, and I thought if I just got new mates, if I just went to a different town, if I just went to a different country, if I just get some good mates, I'd be fine, But everywhere I went, I attracted drinkers. The reason was because I was. Hey, Echuca, goodness me, Echuca, Victoria, I love Echuca. So I attracted those sort of people. Not saying they're bad people, they just was what I was. So the truth is, when I got better, I attracted better opportunities, people that were on mission with me, people that had the same vision. When we understand each other's vision, we complement each other. Whoa, that's how dreams happen. That's how dreams come true. So hey, this is what it's about, okay? Becoming a better man, getting clearer on your vision. Be, do, have. Who do I need to become? What do I need to do? And then I'll have what I am. I'll have that. Be, do, have. So, hey, listen, if the penny just dropped, give me a yep. That just dropped. Hey, awesome. That's good. I'm seeing the comments. Thank you. How many comments have we got, love? Lots. Lots ain't the number. Lots ain't the number. All right, terrific. And if you know somebody who would benefit from these stories, tag them in, please. Tag them in. Let's inspire the world. What was that? How many? 11 comments. Come on. You guys are doing awesome. This is gold. Let's go. Let's go. So what about, here we go. I love it. I've spoke about this a couple times lately when I've done, I've gone on other people's pages because I think it's a really simple, well, when I say simple, it's simple, maybe not easy, all right, but it's simple, all right. So who's saying more? More stories? All right. So, I've talked about the sow and reap, sow and reap principle. But a lot of the time, you know, we're either got no seed or the wrong seed that we're planting. And what does that actually mean? What does that? And I always think of literally three areas that every single person watching will be sowing these seeds. All right, or have these seeds actually sown in them. And the first seed is our thinking. Because a lot of people maybe have said things to us that maybe were bad seed. They were wrong thoughts. They were negative thoughts. Maybe we've thought the wrong thing. Okay, we've thought negative thoughts, and maybe that could look like this marriage is not worth doing. This marriage is never going to work out. Or these kids drive me nuts. or maybe I'm never going to be wealthy. I'm never going to be able to do what Gavs does, traveling overseas. Whereas, you know what I'm saying? That's bad seed. That's negative seed. Because when you think it and then, I've got to always say, what's some good seed? Some good seed is, I'm going to work this out no matter what. I need to get mega wealthy for my family. Or I need to follow my dream because, man, my life depends upon it. I can't not live my dream and be happy. Okay, I can't do that. I'm just not built like that. If you're the sort of person that can just swallow your dream and just go do the grind, I wish you well. I wish you really need to do this challenge. But if you're like me and you think, man, I've got to do more. I can be more. I can become more. I can help more people. I can become more valuable for more people. I can operate at a 10. If that's you, say, Gav, I'm up for that. I'm up for more of that. Because remember, this is my language. This is seed. Yeah, every person on planet Earth can do that. Every person can do that. So because that will actually control your thinking. I always love in the Bible where it talks where actually a lot of people have been misled because they think that your tongue, your mouth is all about communication, and it is partly, but in actual fact it's there to create. When we get in that creation mode, we start to speak things, we actually start to create things. The many times I've been in the corner, on the sidelines, man, I've been on Zoom calls, I've been running that hill behind me, I've been doing something, and I've had the voice in my own head of my trainer say, Gav, you can do it, you can do more, you can become more, you're strong enough, you're good enough, And I've been in the corner of people where I've been able to, hey, almost raise the dead. And when I say raise the dead, raise the thing that was dead in them to come alive. And as a father, as a husband, as a leader of your business, man, that is so, so we've got the thinking, we've got our words. That's what seed are we sowing with our words? Remember, we're talking about the law of sow and reap. So if you're reaping a negative harvest, it's coming from your thinking and it's probably coming from your language. And the third thing I talk about is your resources, your money, your time. Where are you investing your money and your time? Where are you investing your resources, which is your energy? Where are you investing that? Because sometimes what has happened I've seen happen to a lot of men, they've invested their time doing the wrong thing, okay? And they've reaped a reward from that. You plant weeds, weeds are going to grow. You plant a pumpkin seed, boom, it's going to grow over my shoulder there. All right. I've got pumpkins growing, all right, because I planted a pumpkin seed. That's why. And if I was to plant another sort of seed, I would get that exact same thing. Whatever you are, you'll reproduce. So when you're going through this Become a Better Man 5-day challenge, you're going to start plucking bad seed out your thinking, your language, and your actions. Hey, and your actions. And if you're up for that, boom, say, Gav, I'm up for that. Give me something. So all right. So the biggest thing is, wow, because this is the thing, okay? I'm going to have a drink of water here. Hey, who's enjoying this? Yeah. Type in the comments, yep, I'm enjoying this. 2 people. Come on, that's fantastic. You know what? This is the thing. When you understand your purpose and your mission, really, you only dance to an audience of 1. That's the one who sent you. I'm a faith man. Man, you dance to the audience of 1. When you know that one that you're dancing to, man, that's all it needs. That's all it takes. So come on. But you other guys, thank you. I appreciate that encouragement. So the other thing I want to talk about as well is, we talk about that time, okay? That time. And I want you to understand this, because I had a great call with a guy the other day. And I talked about this challenge, and he talked about really he needs to do the VIP section in this on this 5-day challenge, because we do the call that's 60 minutes a night for 5 nights. But before that, the VIP guys who choose to do the VIP section will come on an hour early. Okay, and so what you'll get the opportunity to do is email me right the day before questions, okay, so that when we go through that VIP section, as we go through that hour before, what we'll talk about your question. What's holding you back? What's taking you off mission? Whatever the question is, okay? Because all right, so that's going to be 10 hours for the week. And as we started to talk, he actually made in his words, a poor decision, right? And actually did this job that actually took him 3 months. And in that 3 months, he was traveling 3 hours a day in the car to get there, work his 10 hours, and then come home, right? So he was worried about spending 10 hours of his time, right? See, that would have, if he had done that, that would have actually saved him 3 months of time doing a bad job, all that time in that car, right? 3 hours a day, goodness me, 15 hours a week. How many hours? You're talking over 150 hours in a car, right? From making, if he had done that VIP section back then, he would have got a very clear answer. Not literally through me asking him the right questions. It would have saved him 3 months worth of work. Not to mention, and honestly, when he told me what he's doing with his business, would have saved him $200,000. That's what it would have saved him, because he would have been able to make an extra with the jobs that he does. Goodness me. So if you're the sort of man who says, I don't have the time, you really need to do this. You really need to do this, because this will actually save you time. This Become a Better Man challenge will actually save you time. And I would strongly say, do the VIP section, because you're going to get answers to questions you didn't even realize you had. Because particularly when other men actually ask questions, what seems to happen is it seems to relate to everyone. Like a lot of people ask questions and men will go, I hadn't even thought about that question. That actually applies to me. And that's the power of environment. That's the power of getting in the right room. Okay? It's a room on Zoom, but it's a room. That's the power, man. You get in with high level, high caliber men that are actually changing the world. It will actually change your world by association, by being close to them. Proximity is so valuable. And thank goodness, we've got these tools today with social media. So hey, who's enjoying this? So We're going to be all right. We're gonna be doing as I said, we're gonna be doing giveaways for this Become a Better Man challenge, right? 5-day challenge starting Monday, and we're gonna be giving away a signed book. Okay, a signed book. So what we're gonna do is, and a big portion of what we're gonna be doing is tagging people in this. All right, we want to say who's taking action. I don't want to give these things to people who don't do any action, who don't do any work. That hey. You, like I said earlier in the call, you can sit on the sidelines and do nothing and watch life go you by. That's your decision. But if you want to be a man of life and become a better man in the process, man, this is about action. So, who's ready for one more story? Hey, who's ready for one more story? Type in, yeah, Gav, give me one more story, because this story is become actually a part of my culture. And when I say my culture, in my business, in my family, in the way I mentor and coach men, for them to level up in their families, level up in their businesses, level up in their faith, their beliefs. I use this principle. And so who's ready for it? Who's ready for it? So I just want to ask the team a quick question. How many people we got watching? We got people watching, more people watching. Thank you. This is awesome. This is so good. So if you're taking notes, I want you to write this down. Oh, I love this story. Fire, water, trust. You know, who's been in an environment where you think, I don't know if I trust these people? Anyone been in that environment? I'm just not sure if I trust their loyalty. I'm not sure if I trust they're going to do what they say they're going to do. Anyone been in one of them environments? Hey, we're all growing, we're all endeavoring to get better, but you know, this story will help you when it comes to building a culture. Okay, so visualize, all right, this big mountain, maybe like that mountain over the top of me, right? That's behind me. All right, so you got fire, water, trust at the top of the mountain, and there's actually another mountain over here. Right, so imagine they're walking down the hill. Fire, water, trust are walking down the hill, and at the bottom of the hill there's actually a farmhouse, and there's actually a couple of houses right at the bottom. This is so good. I hadn't even thought about this location where we would be. This is better than I expected. Hey, things always work out for the best for Gavin Lance. Stop. So fire, water, trust walking down the hill. They get to the bottom of the hill, and this villager, this guy in the village, comes out with his couple of houses. And he comes out and goes, "Where are you guys going? Where are you guys going?" And fire pipes up and says, "Oh, we're going to go over to their other village." And but the way to go through that village, there's actually a forest, and the villager goes, "It's actually quite dangerous to go through that forest." Okay, it's actually quite dangerous. Some people go in there and never come out. Some people die. Okay, it is dangerous. There's all sorts of enemies there, you know. And they said, fire, water, trust said, "We're going no matter what." So the villager goes, the old guy goes, "Yeah, okay then, but how will I know you're going to be okay?" And fire speaks up and says, "Well, wherever you see the smoke, that's where I'll be. That's where I'll be." So he looks at water and says, "So how will I know if you're okay?" And water goes, "Well, wherever you see green grass, green pastures, that's where you know where I'll be." And then he looks at trust, and trust looks at him. They eyeball each other, and he goes, trust says to the villager, "Don't take your eyes off me, because once you lose me, you may never get me back again." So when it comes to trust, it's everything. When it comes to building your family, trust is everything. When it comes to building a business, when it comes to building a legacy, when it comes to building something that is worth your life, it's going to require trust. So that story is not my story, it's yours. You can have it if you want it. Men, take that story, rehearse that story. It might be good to when it comes to raising children. I mean, you can use that everywhere. When it comes to keeping yourself in line, in check. You know, some people I've known over the years, because I've known quite a few people, like all of us, but some people, when you know these things, you can't not know them. Okay. And one of the things is that when I've gone to tell this story, I've gone, oh, this person doesn't get it. They don't get it. But one of the things is it keeps me in check. It keeps the people I love in check. So hey, if you enjoyed that, but hey, listen, we're coming to the end. All right, we're coming to the end. Who's it? Sorry. Chris Whiteman, man alive, absolute champion, legend. Great to have you on, mate. So one of the things I'm going to do right now, okay? This is going to be a giveaway, right? I'm going to give something away. So what I want to do, okay, and this is going to happen for the next. I'm only going to give a short space of time for this to happen. So if you haven't registered for the Become a Better Man challenge, put a hey, I haven't yet, but I want to. Because I'm going to encourage you to not just do it for you, not just do it for your family, but do it for a mate. Okay, so what's going to happen is if you say, yeah, that's me, I'm going to register right now on this call. In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to register, say that's me, and I'm going to ask Michelle. I'm going to ask Michelle to post the link and send the link in to you as well. I don't know, get the link to you so you can register, and then you put in the comments, right, your receipt that you paid the general admission, or which is $99 or the VIP section, which is $2.99 US. You put that receipt here. I'm going to give you an extra one, so it's going to be purchase one, and I'm going to give you one for a mate. Okay, I'm going to give you one for a mate. That's what I'm going to actually do. So it's going to be purchase one, and I'm going to give you two, because I don't know any man who doesn't know another man who would benefit from this Become a Better Man challenge. So I would suggest, what's that? Mark, you champion, good man. Man, you are awesome. You are a go-getter. You're a make it happen. That's what it takes, gentlemen. Everyone who's watching, can we give Mark a hand clap, a round of applause? Post that. That is just so good, mate. That's so good. This is an action taker. That's how things change, gentlemen, by taking action. You want to become a better man? You got to do something. You can't sit in the grandstands. You can't sit back and think, oh, when I get the right time, when I get the right money, when I get the right blah, blah, blah. Well done. This is awesome. And I mean, I know there's people that are watching that already have a ticket, right? Already have a ticket. Hey, you just say, hey, I want it, and purchase it for a mate. We'll give you another one, all right? You buy, we'll give you the one you buy and another one. Come on. I don't know any man who's not going to benefit, because this is what I think about. I just don't, and this a massive, we talk about earlier when I read out my dream, because over the years I've had so many women, wives, so many people that I've bumped into, particularly back on the Gold Coast, that have said things like, hey, my uncle or my dad did that program. It changed everything. It changed everything in our family, and because this is one of the biggest things why I came to, like I talked about at the start, why I came to Malta, because I wanted to I didn't want my kids to hear about me talking about creating things for a legacy, right? For a legacy, because that's what we live in, the best times on planet Earth, where we can create things online. Obviously, I'm creating programs. I know other great men that are doing the same thing, creating things that will last for decades, 100 years, 200 years, 300 years. So the main reason I come here Gozo to Malta was to show my kids, to get them to drink that water out of that well from that 430-year-old home, okay, where their grandfather was born, where their great grandmother was born, so I could just show them. They could taste the water, they could feel the stone walls of what a legacy actually means. Because this house that's in Malta, right, this 430-year-old, it's 3 stories. There's holes in the walls because this country has been under attack for years. It's, in the last 2,000 years, goodness me, it's had over a dozen major wars, right? Not to mention all the pirate attacks, not to mention where, like in the last house I lived in, there was like most of these old houses that are 100 years old have stables and caves under their house where they hold where they hide their kids, their people, where they hide their animals, because pirates would come here and just literally take people as slaves, take all their food, take their animals. So I wanted my kids to experience what it is, what actually creating a legacy means. So, hey, how are we going? What's happening here? I'm just about done here. If you got some value out of this, I hope you did. I'm not sure what else to say. If there's any questions, so if you want to, obviously want to take advantage of that. Take advantage of it, of that buy one, and we'll give you 2 for the Better Man Challenge starting tomorrow, the 5-day challenge. So, hey, listen, hope you got some value. I'm gonna leave that open for the next 29 minutes. If you want to do that, purchase it, show your receipt in the comments, and of course, boom, you've got 2 for 1. So, hey, listen, great job. Thank you, everyone watching. Thank you for everyone commenting. God bless you, and I'll see you in the challenge tomorrow. Thank you.